guys, today I'm gonna go over this engine a little bit. Just a little background on it. This is my very first ALH out of a 2000 Jetta. Bought it with about 200,000 miles on it, and yeah, had it till about just over 300,000. I had just put a timing belt in it and went ahead and gave it to my brother-in-law to drive for a commuter, and it made it about 345,000, and it lost, or a cam lobe wore out and ate the lifter and wrecked the head. It's pretty tragic. But anyways, I've got this kind of as a backup engine now, and I'd like to just take it down, get the head off, and see what the pistons and the cylinder walls look like with that many miles on it. Just curious what it kind of looks like. I've got mostly everything loose here, but I was going to go over just the stuff to look for, especially when it's in the car. There's a lot of stuff you can't really get to visually, so it's nice to be able to look over it outside of the engine if you're going to try pull the head in the car. Some of the big things you can't get to, or you can't see on here, is this. The oil drain, and then it's got a bracket here right there to support the turbo. You've got to pull the bolt out on that. And then another thing that I really hate is they put a 7mm Allen key bolt right here holding on to this coolant line. And yeah, that thing will get you because most sets don't have a 7mm. You can leave this stuff on the back of the head here, but you obviously got to pull all the coolant lines off. And also, if you do leave this plastic on here, this one pointing down will be lower than the head when you go to set it down. Also, you can leave the injectors and the glow plugs in, but again, they will be sitting below the head, so you don't really want to lay it anywhere hard whenever you get it out. Also, there's a little 10mm bolt on either side of this plastic here, and then you've got to pull the tension or pulley shaft, that stud, out of there. I've already got the cam out of here, and yeah, I was going to show you guys that because it's got a little rust on it now from sitting, but every one of the lobes is perfect. I mean, honestly, the wear looks good, everything, and then you get to this one and it just completely flattened it out, which is just crazy because I checked it at 300,000 and it looked good. And you pull this off here, it actually took the center of the lifter out, wore clear through it, split it in half, and then it jammed it and just kept running it into the back of the head right there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's probably a 1/4 to 1/2 inch hole back there. Just crazy. So anyways, then you've got your 6 bolts for your intake right there across the bottom, and that'll pop off with the flange. You've got your 8 bolts for your turbo. Get that one below. Get your oil line off if it'll come off easily. A lot of times they're a pain. This fitting will try come off with it, but this one worked, so got that out, so the turbo will come right off. That pretty much opens you up on this end. So so you can see everything. And I am going to go ahead and pull this flange off whenever I lift it off here. But other than that, the big thing is I don't have the injection pump on it right now, but you will want to lock that if you don't want to have to mess with timing it again. But the cam and the crank you'll be able to set up later on whenever you're putting it back together, so those aren't too important. The other thing is, if it's still in the car, it's a good idea to pull your water pump off and just get all the residual water there so you don't have it all over the head when you split it apart. But anyways, yeah, I'll go ahead and pull the head bolts out and pull this off and see what it looks like. Alright, got my head off over here. You can see the injectors and glow plugs just stick down a little there. And back up here. I don't know if I'll be able to get this on video or not, but you can definitely still see some honing marks on the cylinders. That one's got a little more rubbing on it, and this top edge has quite a bit of wear. But overall, if you run these ones down too here, you can see there's a lot of honing marks still left on there. Pretty impressive, really, for 345,000. So, yeah, probably try find a new head for this guy and save it for a backup or something, because it really looks pretty good. Pleased with that for sure. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time.